Welcome to the Summer News. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, I was like, I didn't notice the music is over.
I do. I have to change that a little bit because I'm adding one
Okay,
more
I was like,
drill,
oops, so
and then it
done.
just cuts off like that real quick. All right,
Okay,
how are you, Stephanie? What's going
I'm
on?
good. How are you, Mary?
I'm so good. So we're going to talk about what is suffering today.
Why do we suffer?
Yes, why do we
Yeah,
suffer?
why do we suffer? Yes,
So let's get started.
yes. So first of all, what is suffering, right? What do
Yes.
you think what is suffering means?
I feel like suffering is like feeling pain. I mean, maybe I don't even know. Feeling pain, hurting. Is that suffering?
Yeah, uh-huh. Yes. So suffering is everybody have a different definition for suffering. And like let's say someone is experiencing some pain, like you say, some type of pain physical pain, but some do have mentally pain or emotionally pain, right? It's not only physical, some but it's involved mentally or emotionally. Or someone is, just for example, they're sad because they feel sad because affected by a situation or affected by a subject or affected by illness. So I think suffering is some type of uh, not only physical pain but emotionally pain, right?
Yeah.
I know suffering is a kind of like a serious word, and it's cover a large area. For example, do you think feeling disappointment is suffering?
It. I mean, it seems like it could be.
Yes. Maybe if you go on to the list, for example, frustration
Yeah.
for people who frustrated all the time or feeling stress,
Yes.
chronic stress, is
Yes.
it considered suffering? Right? Or what about they feel miserable all the time,
Yes.
right? Dissatisfaction is also suffering. And anxiety,
Wait.
worry,
Go back to that. They're
mhm,
getting satisfied to suffer.
dissatisfied,
Oh, I'm like,
dissatisfied,
okay. They're getting
satisfied.
satisfied to be suffering.
Yeah,
Okay.
dissatisfied,
Dissatisfied.
sadness.
Okay.
Well, there's no end to the list,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
It can be maybe a rejection is considered suffering to somebody.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so it's not just um, on the physical level. It's some type of emotionally and feeling that you experiencing of unpleasantness, unpleasant feeling. That is considered suffering. So everyone suffered differently, and mm, they have the meaning of suffering to everybody is different.
Yeah.
It really depends on your belief system. Think about this in religion, right? The suffering terms in Christian and in Buddhism, it might be different.
Yeah.
For example, because I grew up from the Buddhist environment in Asia,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So the term suffering to my grow up the environment and the culture, it means good.
Wow.
It means suffering is like I think in Buddhism, the first lesson in Buddhism, suffering. They say life is suffer. It means like all life is suffering. All life is suffer.
So you're gonna grow from it.
Yes, suffer means good because suffer means it's kind of like a stepping stone for you to discover who you are, for discover wisdom, or for you to grow. So you see, everybody have not only religion, I'm just speaking of a example.
Yeah.
Like it really depends of your subconscious program, on your belief program, like where you grew up from,
Mm-hmm.
and how you deal with suffering, how you deal with pain, and it's all in your program. It's all in your program. So everybody have a different definition and different um, opinion about suffering. So for you, do you think suffering is good?
Wow. I mean, I'm gonna have to think about that for a minute
Right.
because I mean, I grew up very strict Catholic,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you pray on your knees until your knees
Mm-hmm.
are bleeding. Oh, I'm thinking yes, that suffering was a good thing because Christ died for our sins. So the least I could do is suffer on my knees.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I believe like everybody have their own different of suffering,
Yeah,
and actually suffering, the feeling of suffering is created by our thought, our belief system, or our own attachment to things,
yeah,
to feeling, to emotions, or to a situation. So I remember a quote. It say, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." So you have the feeling, you have the sad feeling, you have the pain feeling, physically, mentally, or emotionally, or you feeling frustration, or you feeling sad um, because of a situation or because of others. You feel it, yes, but it depends on your reaction, right?
yeah.
Like the quote say, pain is inevitable and suffering is optional.
Wow,
And some people believe suffering is part of being, is part of the, that you being a as a human
growing.
growing. Or like I say, like growing in Asia, they say suffering is good because they'll help you to gain wisdom or discover your own true self.
Yeah,
So it really depends on how you see the suffering. And what beside the program, that what you believe, what is the reason? I mean, it suffering come from many type, many reason.
yeah,
It come is come from many different reason. For example, is that you're holding some type of belief, or let's just say, for example, you believe what you believe. When your loved one not believe what you believe, you're suffering too.
yes. When you're disconnected from love, you're suffering.
Yeah. Or you holding on some type of attachment, you're not willing to let it go.
Hmm.
Sometimes people have physical pain more than others people. Some people, I believe that, in my opinion, that's really two group of people in um, two group of people according, like when they suffering. Some people is more in a physical way, some people in more in a emotionally way.
Yeah,
Let's say for example, a couple break break up, right?
yeah,
They break up, and then they are very sad. Okay, let's say um the girl have a new boyfriend, physically have a new boyfriend, but if she is the type of person having suffering in a huge attachment in the emotionally way, even physically he with some she's with someone else, she still feel the attachment and pain emotionally. But in the contrary, for the group of people who are physical, when they have a new relationship, and then they will detach from the pain from the previous relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really depends on individuals program and their own, and again it's back to their own original belief system and the program that already have developed since they were young, since they were kids.
So, how can we minimize or reduce suffering?
um
Oop.
yep. How can we reduce suffering? Well, this morning when I prepared this topic, I prepared some question um, for you to ask yourself. Like, be honest with yourself. If you currently experiencing suffering, first you ask yourself a few simple questions. Have you ever thought that you are suffering in your whole life? Because I heard a lot of clients when they like during the hypnotherapy, some will say, I feel like I'm suffering my whole life. I feel like I'm like suffering. It's either physically or emotionally or mentally. I'm suffering in the whole life. So first you ask yourself simple question. Have you ever thought that you feel like you're suffering in your whole life? Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be the program that you have in like a kind of an addiction of that type of emotion. Even though some people depressed and they say, I don't want to be depressed, I want to be happy. But it's too difficult for them to be happy because they have some kind of addiction to the feeling of depression, or they have some type of addiction of a feeling sad. So you have to ask yourself, be conscious and ask yourself, be honest, ask yourself question, and um and also ask yourself, is your suffering is a long term or just short term or just temporarily, or is it a long term suffering? Or examining your belief system about what is suffering to you. Like we mentioned at the very beginning, I believe suffering is good,
Yeah.
so it's not considered suffering to me.
Right.
I will put like physical pain, for example. I will not think it's suffering. I will think it's a process of healing.
Yes.
I'll turn the pain into a different meaning in details. So you can try to um, put a description of what you
Sorry.
currently feel. Bless you. What you currently feeling suffering. You put a description in every emotion or every, let's say you feel sad, but what is you think sad is suffering, so what is sad? Label your sadness into more details. Is it sad that you feeling detachment, or you feeling that you living your old habit, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is So you have to really conscious and mindful of how you feel, and always ask yourself question and trace it back, like this type of emotion, when does this start, that you have the same emotion. You can trace it back, maybe slowly you can trace it back until like you were a child that you experienced this type of emotion, right?
Yeah.
So that's a quote, or another quote that I would like to share is called, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is powerful.
So you have to really, really mindful. You can meditate, you can be mindful, and you can conscious about your feeling. So that's why they say joy, the happiness is come from within. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
You search your answer from within, not outside. You do not like why this person made me suffer, why this situation made me suffer, or why something happened that made me suffer. You have to go deep inside of you to look for the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's a choice, like you said, it's a choice.
Yeah.
Choice.
Yeah.
And to take the gift of the choice.
Yeah. And be aware you're suffering, like what type of suffering you're experiencing. Like I mentioned, label your emotion in more details and trace it back. Where did this emotion start? Does it start today or just today? Or it's a familiar feeling that you feel it before?
Yeah.
Trace it back and see where is your program, where's your belief system start from. Or you see the suffering of others, because everybody suffer. I mean, in certain ways, everybody in different way. So see the suffering of others. We're talking about how to reduce your suffering.
Yeah.
And you can share your story to others, but you have to be very careful with this one.
Yes.
You don't have like a loop. Don't keep on spinning your own story.
Yeah.
You share is to express the feeling, but don't do it too over. Just be aware of this one. Just a short term that you share your story to people and listen to other story, because everybody will have their own stories.
Yeah.
And I we have time. I quick share a short story.
Okay.
A man that he's suffering, he prayed for God. He say, God, I want to exchange my life, like exchange life with others. Can you help me? So God asked him to, okay, pack up all your problems and all your suffering, and then I will guide you to a place. You will see a lot of so he packed up all his problem, okay, as if the problems and his suffering can pack up in the bag. And then his bag is heavy. He got to a place and God say, look, this is like a huge place with all the bags there, a lot of bag package there. So you can exchange any package that you would like. And then he put down his package, and then he's trying to find other package for to exchange the problems. But he's find out actually the bag that he has is the lightest. So he end up picking back
his own bag.
his own bag, and then yeah.
Wow.
So everybody have their own issues they're dealing with.
Yes. Wow.
So listen to other stories. Listen to other stories will help you to reduce your own suffering.
Yeah.
And embrace your experience. Says use your story to help others. That will give you more power.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I know we
Yeah.
want to end with a breathing exercise. Got like 7 minutes. But I want to also, we can, should we talk about where they can reach you to book in before or after?
Okay. Yeah. And you can reach me at my website, beautifulmindworld.com, or follow my Instagram, beautifulmindworld.
Okay. Perfect.
You can DM me, message me.
Perfect. Do you have a chat on your website, or they just have to send an email?
Yeah, you can go to Instagram and message me.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So you have a little breathing exercise for us?
Okay, so this is the exercise that I love the most, the alternating alternative nostril breathing exercise. So this will help people that they, for people who ask like how I can calm my mind, how I can calm down my anxiety, or how I can relax, or how can I start meditate. Okay, this is the good way to start. Okay, and the alternative nostril breathing is like, for example, I'll say it first. And you breathe in from, let's say, for example, you start from the left. You breathe it in, inhale from the left, and you then inhale on the, exhale from the right, right? And then inhale again from the right side and exhale from the left, and inhale from the left and exhale from the right, like that. Okay, so we can do it together. So sit down comfortably, and then you can just close either one nostril, it doesn't matter. Okay, so right, and you inhale from the left. Try to slow down your breathing. Hold and close the left nostril and exhale from the right all the way out. And hold and inhale. Hold and exhale on the other side. Hold and inhale from the same side. Hold and exhale from the other side. Inhale from the same side. Hold it and exhale from the other side. All the way out, and hold and inhale from the same side. Hold it and exhale from the other side. And again, this is just an example that you can do it, like, doesn't matter how long you want to do it. The longer, the better.
Yeah.
That you will immediately feel calm, even the first few breaths.
Yeah. It actually made my digestion feel calm. I didn't realize my digestion was crazy, but I felt real calm in my stomach. So that's
Yeah, that's
very,
good. This is my favorite breathing exercise, like simple, and it's a very good for beginner, especially like for those who always ask like, how can I meditate?
mm-hmm.
So meditation doesn't mean that you have to sit down and empty your mind. It's not necessary at the very beginning.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think our time is up because I know you have
Okay.
a client coming. So I want to say thank you, Stephanie, and
Thank you.
we'll be on in 2 weeks. Got a few announcements. So if you want to get today's oil that I want to talk about is abundance. You can go to my website, youngliving.com, Mary Ascension. It is the wholesale price. You have to sign up to be to buy it. Wholesale is $39.50. Thank you for subscribing, for liking, for sharing, for commenting, for participating. Be well. Have a blessed day. I'll see you tomorrow for Tarot Tuesday.